Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Magic Podcast. My name is Chris. I'm here with my friends. We just finished watching Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3. Guys, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Marco.
Gabby.
My name is Michael.
I'm Isa. No, okay, we all.
This is horrible. All right, let's just do roll call. Mike.
You gotta do a roll call. Let's do a roll call.
Oh,
Marco.
Start. Okay, here.
James.
Here.
Isa.
Here.
Gabby.
Here.
And that's us. That's all of us. All right.
That's us.
So,
Yeah.
we just watched the episode. We just watched the episode. It's all fresh in our minds. So let's get right into it.
I guess we should start with the beginning at least with
Boy Sam.
All I'm gonna say is strong beginning, disappointing finish.
All right, let's start at the beginning though. We'll start at the beginning.
It's a hard take.
All right, I think that's a very hard take. I disagree with that, but everyone's entitled to their opinions here.
kind of agree with Gabriel. I kind of agree with Gabby.
I slightly agree as well.
Wow.
Listen,
Because
you
I
can't-
liked the ending.
Can we talk about how Melisandre pulled
but I just didn't like how it ended.
All right, let's start
Like,
from
it
the
just
beginning.
ended so abruptly.
All right.
Let's start from the beginning. Okay, so the episode started with great, like, strong entrance with the Dothraki, all of their swords lighting on fire.
strong. They died
No,
in
but-
like a matter of 5 minutes.
No, but the strong part is that you see the massive amounts of people that they have on their side, right? You see the Unsullied, you see the Wildlings, you see the Night's Watch, you see the Dothraki, you see all your main characters with their weapons drawn, you see them ready, and then you see
I think most importantly is Melisandre coming back.
Yeah, you
to
see her
help the
coming
Dothraki.
out, and you see her lighting their whatever those hooked
Their
blades are
swords.
on
Axes.
fire.
Those scimitars.
All right, and that just gives you all this hope for the living, and then you see them charge in the battle, and we've seen them what they did to the Lannister army last season.
Yeah.
Right, and then you just see that light. You just see that light. The lights just start flickering out. And that hope that you had. That hope that you had is terrifying because you can't see anything besides.
Yeah, but that was a good cinematic with like that where Jon and Dany were like.
Yeah,
from
all
far
of our
away.
stomachs
Yeah.
dropped.
Yeah, they
when
were
you couldn't see
sitting
the
there
lights.
on makeout point.
When you couldn't see the lights, everyone's stomach dropped. At least mine did.
Basically, they
My
had no
stomach
chance.
dropped this whole
They had no
episode. This
chance.
whole
Yeah.
episode, I felt terrified. I felt the biggest sense of hopelessness with every.
Like, Dothraki are skilled fighters. And in my head, I'm like, okay, they have a chance now. Their swords are on fire. That's their weakness.
But that's the power of getting swarmed out in like an open field like that.
Yeah.
That's it. I didn't know why they swarmed out like that. Like, what was
I
the
think
point
it's
of
just to test
running
it out.
Yeah, what
think
was the point of an attack? They
I
should have
think it's-
defended.
It's because they fight best like that.
Yeah.
The thing is that the Dothraki, they're not like defensive.
Yeah.
Every single battle that we've seen them in is them charging straight into the battle.
So
think
maybe
it's a
they
fighting
shouldn't
style.
have been the front lines then. Maybe
Well,
they should
if
have
they were
been.
the back line,
Well, yeah.
they probably would have ran over people in the front.
With the horses.
That's
yeah.
the way they fight. They're the Dothraki chargers. Like they charge into battle. That's their thing.
Yeah.
So I think if they would have been positioned in the back, they wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah,
That's not their fighting style.
If they were in the back, they probably would have accidentally killed.
They wouldn't have been utilized correctly.
Well, all those people died anyways.
I don't think it would have mattered because the White Walkers are like an unstoppable force. It doesn't matter how they fight.
But it was still a strategy to try to combat the White Walkers.
Yeah, you would rather put them in their best position possible to succeed.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Well,
But they're so outnumbered.
yeah.
The thing is,
So
what they didn't
know-
utilize enough was those little meteor things, those cannonballs. They didn't use that. They only used that in the beginning.
Yeah.
They used
only
that in
the
the
one.
beginning because of the distance. Once they started closing out the distance, they really couldn't use that much anymore. And I don't know if you've ever seen, but those things are like hard to reload. It takes a bit of time
Yeah.
because you got to pull it back down and reload it. And
I think the most scary thing is like you couldn't see anything on the battlefield.
that was the scariest part.
Nothing.
You saw the moonlight was lighting only up to the front lines of, the Living's army.
And
It was
then
legit like 20 feet up.
Then
from
they
their
pulled
line
a
of
whole
sight.
You just hear all the sounds of the whites just groaning and swords clashing and people screaming and dying, and then you have Dothraki and horses just running back, and Jorah comes back and he's already all bloody.
and then they pull a whole huge cloud of like winter.
Oh, that was horrifying, dude.
Yeah.
That was a good strat by the Night King.
I thought that was.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was confused, but I thought that was Viserion, but like it was just the winter.
Yeah, it
coming.
was
Like,
just the
it was
cold.
But that's always been their thing, that they have like a giant storm cloud like that.
Yeah.
like in Hard Home and
Frozen, dude.
the Fist of the First Man. It was always that
Man, if they
giant
had
cow
Elsa.
against them.
They had Elsa, they would have won.
And also, I feel like it was strange that John was flying Rhaegal like so smoothly, even though he's only rode him once.
Yeah,
Like,
that too.
It's the Targaryen blood. I mean,
I guess, but like I don't know.
And I also thought that at that moment that he was fighting Viserion, they were gonna like show the audience that Jon Snow was like fireproof. That's what I was waiting for.
Yes,
At
that's
that
what I
moment.
was waiting for too.
His hair
he's not
got
fireproof.
And what the hell was Bran doing? What was Bran doing?
Yeah, the whole time.
I had this theory that Bran was like doing something specific with those
Yeah.
ravens.
No,
At
but
the
like he
end.
literally
I
kind
know.
of
He
like
literally did
He was
nothing.
kind of
He
just
didn't do shit.
he was kind of just like waiting there. Like he was like playing a video game in his head.
I thought he was
Really weird.
scouting, honestly.
Yeah, he was probably scouting, but I also thought he was gonna warg maybe like one of the White Walkers and then assassinate the Night King from behind. But I guess it just had to be the way it was, like how it ended.
I just want to know what he was doing. I feel like next episode we're gonna see
We're gonna
what he
find
was
out.
doing. Like I feel like he was doing something.
he just has a pile of dead crows in a corner somewhere.
He was just like he was banging them into a wall.
It's like
Who else
I
was
am
like-
nothing.
Who else was like leaning forward in their seats during when Arya was in the library?
Yeah, me
my
too.
gosh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I closed my
That
eyes,
was
dude.
that was an
so scary.
intense scene.
That took
I
me
was
back
just-
to The
It
Walking
was like
Dead.
The Walking Dead, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it felt like the
This whole
stealth
episode
mission
felt-
in Spider-Man.
Oh, it's bad.
No,
Wait,
The Last
spoilers,
of Us.
dude. James didn't beat that game yet.
Hey,
The Last of Us.
Spoiler for Spider-Man.
Spoiler for Spider-Man.
I haven't even
Full
beat...
spoilers for Game of Thrones, by the way.
Full spoilers for Game of Thrones episode 3, season 8.
they're like, this is not episode 1.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and what was okay? So like when they were trying to light that trench thing, why John was right there? I don't know why he didn't light him up with.
Yeah.
With
I know.
They
I think
tried.
John was on the other side.
John was on the other side of the castle.
Yeah.
They-
He was
Okay, but
over
he-
by the werewood.
The people
So?
with the
He's
arrows.
on
no,
the dragon.
isn't the
You can
trench
see.
around the whole thing? So basically,
Yeah.
But he couldn't see Davos
But he
waving
couldn't.
the...
Davos was the one giving the signal for Dany to light the trenches.
Yeah.
The
He
people-
did
John
it
was
so
John
well,
was
man.
yeah. John was guarding the werewood. He was guarding the flank for some odd reason.
Yeah, but
I
even
guess
the
he was waiting for the
peop-
Night King to show up.
Even the people with the arrows.
Yeah,
Couldn't
but
light
their
it.
arrows were getting extinguished by the
Yeah,
the
by
storm.
the
wind.
it wouldn't have mattered who had done it. Like, it had to have been like a huge fire of some sort.
Yeah, either it had to be the dragons because they were trying and people. I was thinking Grey Worm was gonna run out there with torches, but it didn't.
Yeah, me too.
It
Yeah,
still
me
didn't
wait,
matter.
did Grey Worm survive?
Yeah,
he
Grey
did?
Worm survived.
Yeah.
Because I saw him
Somehow.
at the end, but I wasn't sure if he
Somehow
came
he's-
back.
Melisandre
Just-
truly carried
No.
the
For,
troops.
for me, it was really confusing because you see Grey Worm is right at the front of he's at the front of everybody when they get swarmed at first, and then I feel
Yes.
like I saw him get knocked down, and then he somehow appeared in the back.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he, but I know that he's not one to run away. I feel like he would have fought. So I don't know
Yeah.
how he somehow.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah,
Sorry,
Chris,
my
your mic is going in and out.
no, I'm looking at my connection now. It dropped to red, but now it's back to green.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Repeat
Yeah.
what you said.
Yeah. So like I'm saying, Grey Worm. You saw him. He's fighting the entire time. So I don't understand how he got either he got thrown back to like the back of the army, or he just like slowly retreated. But that's the
I
point.
think
They did
he
get
probably
Same with
slowly
Jorah.
retreated.
Jorah was
Jorah was
everywhere,
right in
dude.
front. Jorah was in front, and then he like disappeared. It came back out of nowhere, and then
Dude, Jorah teleported.
I think for Jorah, I was pretty satisfied for Jorah with this
Me
episode.
too.
I feel like his ending, this is the way he wanted to go.
It was
Both
on.
months.
It was on point.
Yeah.
oh
I
yeah,
think-
both more months.
Oh,
yeah.
both
Mormonts.
Mormonts. It's
The
true.
most heartwarming, the two most heartwarming parts was the part with Sansa and Tyrion, and the part with the
Yeah.
the little girl. What's her name?
Lyanna Mormont.
Mormont. Yeah,
Yeah.
those were
Yeah,
the.
I mean, giving her such a big they didn't really show a lot of the giant walkers. I know they had a few.
Yeah, there was
of
only
them, but,
they only had one. I saw.
No, they had more. It's just that I think they were in the.
They
back.
had one in that episode.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure I saw Danny light one on fire in the back.
Yeah, so I feel like that's just what happened. We didn't see a lot of like. I was expecting us to see more like dead characters like wildlings that we knew come back.
yeah.
Because
or
you know,
Hodor
Yeah.
at least.
or
I was
Hodor at least.
expecting-
But I feel like if they would have done that, that would have been it would have just taken away. It would have been too much. Like they wanted to focus on the characters that were alive and them just trying to survive.
I mean, they did show like a scene of them reanimating, but they didn't.
That scene was a bit like that. That made my stomach drop a little bit, even more.
I thought it was interesting.
Didn't do anything about that.
It was interesting that like the Night King had to do it like Thanos kind of, like how Thanos has to close his fist.
He has to raise his arms in order for the dead to rise. It's not just instant.
Yeah, it's just not being dramatic.
Yeah, but during that whole time, John could have like done something. He just
he was running. He was far away. He wasn't like
limping towards him.
He also just fell off a dragon. Like he was pretty injured.
I guess.
Oh, and who else got mad that? Oh, sorry.
Oh no, it's okay.
Daniel was just chilling on the ground with her dragon. You know, just chilling.
I was like, take off. I was like, Drogon, what are you doing? You know that they're stabbing you.
Yeah, but you can tell she's not an experienced fighter by any means.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, but if you see that they're climbing up this dragon trying to get you, get up, get in the air.
Or like light yourself on fire, like whatever. You know you're fireproof. You know Drogon's fireproof. Just light yourself on fire.
I don't think his neck bends like that.
Nen bangs. Bang, bang, bang.
No, dude, shoot fire. If he breathes fire straight into the air, it has to come back down. It's basic gravity.
On the topic of fire, when Viserion, like when Rhaegal and Viserion had that fight, and like Rhaegal bit off Viserion's neck.
Oh yeah, the fire was coming.
The fire was coming out of his neck.
Yeah, you can see that. You can see that at the end when it was like Jon Snow versus Viserion.
And like he lost an eye too, right?
Yeah, his eye was off. His jaw, half of his jaw was off, and fire was coming out of his neck. That part was like horrifying.
That was intense.
I thought Jon Snow was going to cut his head off. I thought that was.
I was surprised how well the Night King was able to ride Viserion.
I mean, he's the Night King.
He's the Night King.
He can do it.
Well, it's the same thing as like Jon. It's not
the
as
funniest
experience.
No, the funniest part was him falling off. The funniest part was him falling off Viserion.
The Night King had more time to ride Viserion.
I mean,
like
think about it like this, Mike. Like the Night King.
And he was around when dragons
the
were.
White Walkers. Like
the Night King controls Viserion basically.
So he
controls his every move.
Viserion his every move.
Yeah, it's not like intuition that Jon needs. Jon needs to like lean his way to like get Rhaegal to go anywhere.
Is it like in Avatar? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it like in Avatar where they connect braids and they can hear each other's thoughts?
Yeah, you didn't see the Night King's braid?
No. I didn't see his horns latch onto.
Okay, but I wanna find out what his identity is, because he's fireproof. So who the fuck is he?
That's true.
Night King.
I feel like he's fireproof because like he's the Night King. He could set out fires.
Yeah.
That's all of the White Walkers have been able to like put out fires. Yeah. I mean, obviously he survived like a full frontal dragon blast, but you know, I didn't expect him to die from that.
Yeah.
No,
you know, everyone expected it to be like, you know, even Danny was like, oh.
Yo, but I thought something was gonna happen because music started playing. I knew that wasn't gonna kill him. Like music started playing, I'm like, no way this ended right now. There's no way.
I thought it was gonna end with like right at that moment because Jon was like running up there. I thought it was gonna end like with Jon versus the Night King in like a ring of fire.
Yeah,
that's what I thought the final
me
fight.
Too. That would have been dope.
But then you know Jon is limping his way over there and he takes too long.
Yeah, the producers after the show, there was like a producer talk, like the producers of the show, and they said that they didn't want Jon to be the one to kill the Night King because he's already had too many heroic moments and probably more heroic moments to come. So
yeah,
I'm glad that they gave it to Arya.
Props to Arya, right? Props to Arya.
Props to Arya.
The way
they
ended it. I'm sorry, but the way they can't start the season with White Walkers and end it midway season. Like, you have to end it with that epic White Walker battle. I mean, come on.
Like from season 1 all the way to season
8. I just felt like
leading to
at least give the man 2 episodes. It's taken the whole series just so we can see a fight between.
I can see what you mean. I can see what you mean, but for me, the whole point, like the whole way that this has been structured, is set out to make it, you know, seizing power from someone else. It hasn't been like, you know, we started off the show entirely with the White Walkers, you know, the Night's Watch Rangers getting stalked by White Walkers, and then you know it's been this threat, but the main point of the show has always been the people in King's Landing. It's been people versus people.
I know, but I just don't want to see Cersei anymore. Like, I don't want to look at her face anymore.
The thing is,
I don't think anyone does.
Even if the Night King won, we would have seen Cersei for 3 episodes.
Yeah, it would have been Cersei versus Night King.
She would have died quicker.
But how are you gonna fill 3 episodes with that?
I don't know.
How,
we're gonna watch the Night Army.
Who's excited for the next couple episodes?
I'm excited. I'm hyped.
Me?
I am not.
I told y'all it was filler. I told y'all the rest is filler.
It's all gonna be filler.
I would have been more excited if the Night King would have survived, but like I wouldn't say I'm not excited for the next episode to come. I'm just disappointed that Cersei has the advantage because their army is gone. Dothraki are gone. Unsullied.
The Dothraki. There's the North is gone. There's some Unsullied left. If the teaser showed that there was some, I don't know where the fuck they were, but
yeah, but like
no, some of them were able to fall back into Winterfell.
Like
that's true. I did see some of them run. 90% of Dany's army is gone.
Yeah, 90%.
You know, she has a few. She has like a few. What do you call them? She has a few Unsullied left, and I feel like some Dothraki were able to run away, but most of them are dead. Yeah. You know, her army's gone. So everyone that's left in the north to fight against Cersei's army in the south is from the north. You know, this has become the whole north versus south again.
The thing is, the biggest advantage is definitely those dragons.
Yeah. I mean, one dragon. You have one dragon.
They have a dragon killer.
No, Rhaego's still alive.
Rhaego's still alive.
Yeah,
Rhaego and Drogon are still alive.
Oh,
it's a 2v0 pretty much.
They have that dragon killer though.
The Scorpion.
They have that weapon.
You gotta aim that. You gotta load it.
And they have the use of wildfire also.
Even then, when what do you call it? When Bronn was able to hit Drogon with the Scorpion, it didn't kill him.
No, it didn't kill him, but it slowed him down a lot. They had to get it out.
I don't know. We can't just like depend on the dragons. Like they're a lot.
No, here's what I noticed, that they did lose a lot of people, but remember that there's still some houses that are behind that are past Winterfell that didn't end up at Winterfell. Like House Glover, they didn't show up. Yeah. Remember they sent that letter saying that they're staying home. Mm-hmm. So you know, I think that they're gonna help make up the army that they lost.
Well, the only reason that House Glover wasn't there was because Daenerys was there. I mean, Daenerys is still there.
Yeah, she still wants.
Yeah, but look at what she sacrificed for the living.
For the north, pretty much.
A lot of her army. She was out there fighting, even though she didn't want to. But she was out. She picked up a sword and she was fighting with Jorah.
Because was either
because she was dumb that let her dragon.
She was dumb and stayed on her dragon and then fell off the dragon that was gonna fly away.
If you're looking at threats, Cersei does not pose as much of a threat as the literal Walking Dead out there. Like she
Honestly,
knew that she had to fight. Like she's the only person that had access to dragonglass, and Jon Snow made those moves.
And I kind of wanted to see like what Cersei would have done with the Walking Dead.
Yeah,
like what would she have thought?
The Walking Dead, dude, because I don't like whites or whatever.
We're renaming the whites to the Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
We're naming them walkers.
The Running Dead.
Dude,
Dead.
When they started running up the wall, dude, I was like, yo, this is like World War Z.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, I was like, yo, this is just like the episode with the Night's Watch when they're fighting against the wildlings.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
except they don't have a giant scythe.
And how was it possible that they were protecting Bran? Because I feel like they were reloading those arrows a little too fast.
Props to Theon, though.
Dude, Theon was
Theon with that spear was badass, dude.
R.I.P. But
R.I.P. Saddest stuff.
It was a poetic ending.
It was a poetic death because, you know, he did get that vindication from Bran saying, "You are a good man," despite everything that you did. Shit. Okay, look, we all agree. Bran is a shitty character. He hasn't done anything.
He literally was just bait.
Could have done something.
He was bait, and like all the Ironborn died, especially Theon, because of him. But
he didn't offer any help. He didn't.
Not all of the Iron Islands.
I mean, he was flying with those crows.
Half the Iron Islands are alive. They're over on the Iron Islands. So remember, they can come in. I think they showed up on in the teaser. So I think those people from the Iron Islands are gonna come back.
Oh, that's true. They still have Yara.
So Yara and her, you know, her clan.
Small fleet.
Her small fleet. Her 3 ships.
Most of them are with what's his face?
Euron.
With Euron.
The pirate dude.
Okay, so the people in the courtyard, I still don't understand how they're alive.
Right?
because they all should have been dead.
It's really strong plot armor. But
yeah,
you know, if you look at it, you could see like you can make out how people were surviving. You had some people on top of the rafters, and they were constantly knocking people off. And if you notice the walkers, their main objective was running into the castle, running through the castle. It wasn't kill anybody
about
that
the
you see.
people.
I know
that stayed in the courtyard.
The people that stayed in the courtyard. So you had like Tormund.
Outnumbered.
You had Tormund and a bunch of wildlings standing on top of
Jamie, and that was it. That was literally it in the courtyard.
Well, there were other people. You couldn't make them out because they were fighting people. But if you see
Tormund, maybe 6 other people.
Okay, Tormund and a bunch of wildlings were standing on top of like something. They had like high ground, so they were just beating off anything.
They were standing in front of, and they were standing on top of bodies, piles and piles of bodies.
Yeah, exactly. So the walkers had to climb up the bodies to get to them. So that gives them time to kill the walk. So they had the high ground. Okay.
I mean, look,
but it wasn't big stacks. It wasn't like.
But it's still a stack.
Yeah, but it's still a stack. It still takes time for the walkers to climb up them.
Okay, but they're still outnumbered. Like even. Okay, so they had they had the place surrounded, right, in the beginning.
Yes.
But there's so many of them that they went through it. They went through it like so easily because they're outnumbered. There's so many of them. Yeah. So how is it possible that those people in the courtyard just?
I'm just saying their main objective, the walkers, weren't the people that were alive. Their main objective were to get to where Bran was.
See, but why would they be hunting for Arya? So, like in that room, they were hunting for Arya. Like they needed her dead.
Well, it's because she was like someone alive.
Yeah,
and they just chased that.
So it doesn't matter. Like they don't have an objective. They just want to kill the living. They're literal
death.
The Night
King's objective was Bran, but not necessarily the.
But what was confusing was that even the walkers were still like going after Bran, like Theon.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're mostly going after.
Like it wasn't. Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
I think they were going. I think the Night King always wanted. The Night King always wanted to kill Bran. His main objective was to kill Bran, right? So he sent his walkers to go and kill the people guarding
the Ironborn.
Basically, yeah, just all the Ironborn. And so I think what we saw was a lot of the walkers, yes, killing the living and running through, but I think most of them went towards the weirwood. If you saw the end, all of the a good amount of walkers were filling the weirwood area. Like they had Bran surrounded completely.
Also, I have another question. How in the hell did Arya sneak behind all those generals? Like how did they not see her before she got to the Night King? How did she jump from the second story?
Well,
how did she jump from the second story to the first story just to get to that specific moment and then sneak behind all of those people? Like how did it's not possible.
We saw her sneaking prowess in the library, right? Yeah. You saw how silent she is, you saw how quick she is. And then I think the main thing is that the Night King was so focused on Bran.
Yeah.
But
and I'm pretty sure his lieutenants.
No, but
I'm pretty sure his generals thought that Arya wouldn't do anything. Like the Night King could probably handle her.
Look at the same thing that they did with Theon. We saw Theon rush towards him, and the Night King dispatches him himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of like you saw the lieutenant how like his hair whiffed and he noticed and he looked to his side. So I think at that moment he could have stopped Arya, but he didn't think Arya was that big of a threat.
Mm-hmm. That's why the Night King didn't do crap.
So then when she jumped, he just turned around. Yeah, but the Night King is a dramatic bitch.
Okay,
he just has to get it by himself, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and the way he died, not original. That was from Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Rey killed one of the soldiers the same way.
Dude, Michael Jordan did that with his layup, dude.
Oh, facts.
Remember when Arya fought Brienne? That was the same thing she did. Yeah. She dropped the blade out of her hand. That's a basic fight move.
Wait,
not basic,
which part are you talking about? I'm sorry.
What?
I'm just curious. Which part are you talking about? In Star Wars.
When Arya?
In Star Wars, when in Episode 8 and they just killed Snoke and they were fighting the guards. Rey was being choked by one.
And she dropped her lightsaber and picked it up.
Her lightsaber, picked it up, and sliced it.
Okay.
The same way Arya killed the Night King.
But that's the same thing Arya did in her fight versus Brienne.
Yeah.
So I think that's
she didn't drop it. She just like picked it up with her other hand. But
that's
the concept is the same.
Yeah.
It was like a distraction.
It's just not. She's not expected. Like one hand is holding. One hand is holding her neck. The other hand is holding her arm. Mm-hmm. If she drops the blade and picks it up with the other hand, he can't really stop it with anything.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Let's talk favorite moments of the episode. Favorite moment total overall of the episode.
That dragon fight, dude.
Yeah.
The dragon fight.
The best part.
That dragon fight was crazy.
I can't lie. My favorite part was Melisandre bringing up that Sergio Farrell quote.
Yeah. What do we say to the god of death?
Not today.
Ooh,
that was generally
that was insane.
When she said Eyes of Blue, I in my head I'm like, oh, she's gonna kill the Night King. Maybe not this episode, but maybe the next one.
No, I figured that's where she went running. Yeah. Like as soon as she said that, I wasn't thinking Arya would kill the Night King the whole episode until she said brown eyes, green eyes, and then blue eyes, and I was like, maybe Arya can be the one who kills the Night King, and then she sets off running, and I'm like, maybe by the end of this episode, she is going to pull it off.
I thought she was going to kill him, but I didn't think it was going to be this episode.
I thought the episode was going to end right in front of Bran.
I didn't think it was going to be like
I didn't want it to end like that. I would be pissed.
Yeah, I didn't want it to end on a cliffhanger.
I would have
loved
that. I would have made me more excited for the next episode.
No, I feel like...
What is Bran going to do?
Now what? I don't want to see Cersei?
No, because if it ended right in front of Bran, and then the next episode started, and Arya did what she did, how would you feel?
It would be too quick.
How would you feel if if the Night King was over in the first 5 minutes of an episode?
I mean, that's what they did in this episode. They just killed him at the end instead of the beginning.
Yeah.
But
we went through an entire battle. We went through an entire episode. The tone of that episode and the tone of this episode would be entirely pointless if they just went and put it at the beginning of next episode.
I don't know. I feel like he shouldn't have died this episode anyway. Like, it should have been...
But what more could they have done?
Drawn out. I don't know. The Night King didn't serve
he could have won.
a threat. Yeah.
Yeah, but if he won, then we have the Night King versus Cersei, and again, we have to deal with Cersei and her annoying ass.
Yeah, but that in that sense, she wouldn't really she wouldn't
make
have
more
another
sense.
choice. Yeah, she would side with the living.
But then we lose,
door.
and then we lose all the characters that people actually care about.
That's fine, dude.
But why?
No, dude, you would end every important story.
Then that is the worst ending for this show.
If the Night King would have won,
why would they?
So realistic. And
why would they have this important backstory? Why would they bring?
What would be the point of watching this show if everyone's just gonna lose to the Night King?
Not
if
lose.
there's no hope for the living.
They'll win. They'll probably win at the end, but at least have it.
With
at
who?
The
With
end.
characters we don't like.
Characters would not win.
Who would win?
And we
Cersei
care about
and
their
Euron.
Story.
We don't care about Cersei and Euron's story.
Well, maybe they'll redeem themselves, like a lot of characters did in this episode.
Oh no, I think it's too late for them to have a character.
It's too late
change.
for a redemption arc.
Their character changes them dying to the hands of the North now. That's it.
When I would have loved to see Cersei die to the Night King. I would have loved that. I would have enjoyed
loved to see that too. But I would have loved to see it more if she was there trying to fight with the living, and then she died.
I think they created this.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's okay, you can go.
I'm just saying they had this whole thing with the White Walkers coming and that winter is coming. That whole thing was throughout the whole show. Like, we were waiting for the White Walkers to come and pose a threat. But as soon as they come, they die.
The whole episode, I'm pretty sure this whole episode was it showed how big of a threat they actually were.
Yeah, and they should have won. They should have won.
Not much.
They should have won. They had the numbers. They had everything.
They killed.
And they lost because the Night King died to Arya. That's it.
Because he's dumb. He's stupid.
Because he's dumb and a dramatic bitch. That's what I've been saying.
So the whole show, there's really no point in watching.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have made it like that.
Now it's
okay, but 90% of the show is about 90% of the show is about this power struggle between the Lannisters and now the people in the North.
Whoever gets the throne, it doesn't really matter because we're not going to see them rule anyway at the end of the show. We're just going to see them on their throne, and then what? They're not making any more episodes of the show. There's no point in that.
So then, Gabby, why are you watching this show?
Well, I was watching it to see what happened with the White Walkers, but since they did this whole thing where they killed the Night King so quickly, there's no point for me to watch it. Like, the next couple episodes, I don't want to watch.
Okay, then the show is done for you. Good job.
And I'm not the only person that feels that way. I know for a fact a lot of people are disappointed with this ending, especially.
And I'm sure there are, but
the thing
I
is,
agree that it was too fast, but it was, I don't know.
I think it's just leading into a bigger battle, so it's just gonna be. It's
but
not
that
gonna, it's gonna
was
be
the
more
bigger
things,
battle.
No, there's
That
gonna be
was
more.
the bigger battle.
What this does is it gives you that sense of that now the North are the underdogs.
Like
You know, they
that's
lost
true.
most of their army. They just went through this huge battle.
Sorry. What I think what Gabby's trying to say is that this was the ultimate battle. Like, they were facing death, and now, since they like won it, what are they gonna do? Like, how can you compete with that? You know, like, how can you
fan wise, like as a
Yeah,
watcher,
like-
as a viewer, not as like, oh, Winterfell's outnumbered now and they have to deal with Cersei and she's posing a huge threat. That's all fine and dandy. Like, they're obviously gonna win. Nobody wants to see Cersei rule the throne, but the White Walkers, they pose a bigger threat because they were a mystery to everyone. Nobody knew what they'd be like. And now that we saw that they're literal death, it makes no sense for them to come and go in the same episode. That's why I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Issa.
Like, how can you follow up that? How can you follow up death? Literal death. And now they're just
I think that's the
throne.
point. I think that's the point of the next episodes. We get to see what they can do to follow that up. If it's disappointing, then it's disappointing. But I think, we're all here to see what happens next.
I'll watch.
I would have been more disappointed. Like, this is my opinion. I would have been more disappointed if, everyone here just died. And that was it. That would have been disappointing for me. I would have hated it.
I wouldn't want everybody to die.
People to die.
Yeah, I wanted a little more.
Dude, the thing is, the way it looked, everyone was gonna fucking die. So, like,
Yeah,
you gotta take it or...
I thought it was going to end with everyone just dying.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is it. Like, great. I'm going to watch the next few episodes of the Night King just marching to the south.
Pretty much. But then Arya carried.
And just because they do that doesn't mean that they don't, like, have an escape
Okay, but
plan
it just
of some
seemed...
sort. If they were,
But there was no escape plan. Like, at that point, there was no escape plan.
then
Jorah and Dany were surrounded. Jon was facing down an undead dragon. The people in the courtyard were
surrounded.
They were getting extremely overrun. I know Issa has an issue with them surviving for so long, but they were getting royally fucked at the end. So I think there was no escape plan. The people in the crypts, they were trapped.
They were
with
screwed.
The dead.
A lot of them died.
They were trapped with the dead in the crypts. So I think there was no escape plan. It was either all of them die, or one of them
or a W. Yeah.
It was either win or lose. There was no falling back. There was no, going back to the Iron Islands and regrouping, or going back, fleeing.
There's no
to the
escape
south.
plan.
There was no escape plan. It was win or die.
I heard Marco's conclusion for the show, like what he hoped for, was interesting. What was it, Marco?
What I wanted was basically the remaining of the main characters somehow escaping, but in the end, like, they would have gone so far south that they wouldn't necessarily be in King's Landing, and King's Landing probably would like retreat as well, and like it would be like a giant living versus dead fight. And like, I thought that was the expectation. That's what it seemed like. I thought that was going to be the expectation
for the next 3
final
episodes
season, because they hyped it up so much. There were rumors out there that these next, like, the 3 episodes in this season are going to be a battle, but that battle ended tonight.
No, it's a battle between the living now.
Yeah, but now it's a battle between the living, which is like, how can you compare?
That's like the whole yeah.
That's what I said. How can you compare?
But
with
now
the
it's
dead?
okay.
It was like 50,000, 100,000 like men and giants and a freaking ice dragon. Like it, and the Night King, who's like a mysterious, superpowered natural being, like unnatural being, and like now they're just gonna go against Cersei with her elephants. Like, come on.
The big thing about these next battles is the payoff after it, because you'll either see Cersei rule or Jon and Dany rule.
Which is
because if it would have been Night King versus Cersei, it would have been the same outcome as this episode, possibly.
I feel
like living or dead.
They should have taken 2 episodes on this battle, 2 episodes on the living. Not like one, because now the next 3 episodes, like the next 45 minutes of the next episode are going to be prepping to go see Cersei.
Well, yeah.
Well, or mourning for the death.
Well, the next episode is them just trying to regroup after what they just went through. You know, they just spent, you know, a couple of hours fighting for their lives and watching all of their friends and like comrades just die. You know, anyone who's left, that's going to be brutal for them, because, you know, the things that they saw tonight, that's not something that's ever going to go away.
I don't know. I just thought it was a weird subplot that they made a reality and did nothing with. Like, why even have the White Walkers in there if they're not going to have some epic conclusion at the end? And, like, it'll be, like, sort of a foreshadowing. The Game of Thrones is really just the White Walkers coming and ruling the whole land.
Yeah. I feel like it would have been more of a... It started with the White Walkers, and if it would have ended with the White Walkers, I feel like that would have been right. Like, I feel like it would have fitted more...
I agree with you that it would have made more sense to have it end like that, to have it end with the White Walkers, but I also don't have an issue. I do see what you guys are saying, but I don't have a problem with them wanting to end it with this, because they built Cersei up to be this big villain.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see an issue with them having it end with basic good versus bad. You know, good people versus bad people, not living versus dead anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Yeah, but they really, like, pushed it, like, winter's coming, this is it. And then winter came. I mean, look, and winter's gone now.
I can get that you would... I can get that you would want them to have dragged this out, but in reality, this episode was, like, what, a minute 20? An hour 20? Not a minute 20. An hour 20. And then the next episode is also going to be an hour 20. Would you have wanted to see 2 hours and 40 minutes of them just fighting the dead?
We saw them.
I would want more answers. I want more answers.
But the thing, they can always provide answers now. They can always, the next episode, they can always provide answers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I said,
you know, Bran's still alive.
I said the next episode was going to start with Arya, and then on, like, her journey, like how she got to that point of killing the Night King, because we really didn't see it. All we saw was jump behind him. We didn't see
I think we're gonna see her like climbing through the roofs, like jumping through the roofs.
Why?
Trees and shit.
Why would we need to see that?
Because
it's like anime. You know how anime replays the final seconds of a battle at the beginning of the next episode?
But they only have a couple episodes left. Why would they regroup? Like, why would they go back to the episode?
It takes 2 minutes to explain.
But that's 2 minutes of something else that could be explained.
Yeah.
That's why these episodes are expanded. It doesn't take, you know, a long time to just show a scene that would be a cool scene to see, I think.
Okay, but like the scene with Jon and Valerian, like that, like they kept going back and forth.
Because Jon was just trying to run to protect Bran. He was trying
to show how screwed Jon was.
He was trying to get to that final fight. Okay, I understand that,
but going back and forth, trying, like, I understand that he is not fireproof and that he can't deal with this dragon, but I don't need to see 5 minutes of all that. Okay?
Yeah, and then Bran just staring.
Yeah.
Like the epic staring contest between the Night King and Bran was real, dude.
Exactly, it was just 5 minutes of like how screwed they were.
I wanted them to have like dialogue against each other.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's what I
want. Yeah, like I need answers. I want answers.
But
like what the fuck is going on?
We can always get answers the next episode.
But what's the point now? They're dead. What's the point now? They're dead.
The point is that you're still wondering, aren't you?
Okay, but what's the point now? Like
the point is that you can get the answers.
I don't think I don't think Bran's gonna explain.
Well, what am I gonna do with these answers?
He hasn't explained anything throughout the whole series. Like Bran doesn't talk. He doesn't.
What do you mean?
Say...
He's not a bastard. He's not a snow.
I mean, he's been doing more lately.
Well,
lately,
he
but like
what he needs to say. But
yeah.
He doesn't say what is necessary.
So then he'll say what he needs to say then.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're as the audience, we're still waiting for the answer. You can't just shaft us like this.
That's all you gotta watch next.
Why wasn't there a White Walker Hodor?
No,
a White Hodor reunion
be...
with Bran?
Oh, what?
I thought we explained that just would have taken away from the battle itself.
Hmm.
The thing is, for that to make a big impact, it wouldn't need to be like right in front of Bran, so we could see it.
I want to know, James. What do you think? What do you think of the episode?
Wait, what? No, I have nothing.
What do you mean? You don't have any? You don't like? Did you like the way it ended? It's okay
I have nothing to say right now.
Oh. I'm just curious.
James,
I do. But
James didn't watch the episode.
I didn't wanna interrupt everybody's
sitting
opinion.
on the fence.
No, well, now you.
So now I forgot my opinion. So.
Oh my gosh!
Right.
You left it in the car.
James didn't like how dark it was. That's it.
Yeah, I couldn't see anything.
Yeah,
me
neither. I was about to say, I'm like, I could barely see.
I feel like would you guys be happy? Would you guys be happy if next episode they beat Cersei?
No, I mean, yeah, no.
And then it's just Jon and Daenerys deciding who's gonna be the king.
Yeah, but then there's no more threats.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would be a better twist if like they defeat Cersei and then Jon and Daenerys are like.
I feel like they might. I feel like the next episode is going to be them prepping to go to war with Cersei. Episode 5 is going to be
5 is the war, and 6 is the resolution.
6 is we're just going to see like the finale. You know, we're going to see how things pan out for everyone who's still alive.
And do you think that the White Walkers are actually done? Like for real, they're just done.
Yeah, they're done.
There's not going to be a trace. So you don't think it's going to come back?
No.
I mean,
if it does, that's just bad writing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Like if it's a secret reveal that wasn't actually the Night King and there's another Night King hiding in the back, then that's kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is cheap.
Like we saw all the dead disintegrate and die all over.
I mean, it was an epic battle. I'm not gonna lie. That like it was a
Look, they did a really
episode.
good job because I've never felt like such. Like I felt horrible watching this whole episode. Like I was like hyperventilating. My heart was through the roof. Mm-hmm. I told you guys, I had to pause the episode and I was like, I walked around my house and took a cup of water.
Chris had to do his deep breathing exercises.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yo, that's right. The Hound was like being a pussy at first.
Well, he's afraid of fire.
I think Beric Dondarrion got him in the game.
I mean, he saw Arya in trouble, so he had to go rescue.
Yeah, thank God for that part.
Yeah, because Arya would have been dead, and then, the Night King would be winning right now.
But I mean, he was right. Like, they were facing death. Like, what the fuck are they gonna do?
No, Beric was done, dude.
Bran knew the whole time that Arya was gonna kill him, because Bran actually gave Arya that knife.
I have a question. Did Podrick die? I forgot his name.
No,
he can never die.
He got knocked out.
No, Pod was there. It was like, where was Gendry? I didn't see Gendry.
Yeah, him either.
He was on top of a dead body.
Probably in the courtyard.
Dead bodies.
With everybody else.
all of our main characters were in the courtyard.
Yeah, most of them in the courtyard.
Their
best Sam.
Being alive for some reason.
Sam.
Every time I saw Sand, he was on the floor crying.
I know. Like,
Sam has plot armor.
How?
No, Sam was on the floor crying, but he was also stabbing White in the neck. That was so funny.
Dude, when Jon
ran through the courtyard. When Jon ran through the courtyard and he looked at Sam just getting jumped, and he was like, "I don't have time for this," and he just kept running.
Jon's like, "I don't have time for this shit, Sam."
And also, how did
I told you to stay in the crypt.
Tyrion and Sansa didn't even get.
Well, they hid pretty well.
I guess.
Yeah, they hid behind a statue.
There wasn't a lot of whites
use her knife
in the crypts.
I thought they were gonna kiss.
I think there were just a few whites. Wait, what'd you say? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I thought they were gonna kiss.
I thought they were gonna kill themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I was really worried. I was like,
don't waiting for their turn to move.
I was like, don't kill yourself. Someone's gonna kill the Night King. Don't do it.
There's no way that they would have done that though.
No, I don't know. The way she took out the knife, it seemed like that's what she.
Yeah. Like aiming it towards her body.
I think that's
the way Tyrion looked at her. I was like, don't do it, Tyrion. You're smarter than this.
I ship them.
Yeah.
Ew.
They're cute.
Well, Theon's dead now, so.
Yeah, true.
Theon is her brother, sort of.
Yeah, it's basically like her stepbrother.
Incest runs this show.
That's true. Everybody wants to see Jon and Daenerys together.
No.
It's not happening.
Right. So, who do you guys, who died that you weren't surprised by, and who died that you were surprised?
I mean,
I was surprised no one died.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, not a lot of people died than I expected.
My biggest surprise was Ed. I'll say that.
Yeah, Ed right at the beginning dying. That was something that threw me off because Ed was one of my favorite characters, and now he's just.
Yeah. The second that I saw that he helped Sam, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, because that was very similar to like what happened to his friend in the Night's Watch, Pip.
Yeah.
Whatever, that he just like died, and he was telling Sam to run.
Mm-hmm.
Like that gave me the same feels.
Yeah.
So Ed dying, that really threw me off. Barrick dying, I kind of knew I kind of saw that coming.
The little Mormont
I didn't see Barrick
girl.
dying.
The little Mormont girl.
I did not.
I think
expect
she
her.
really went out like a trooper. She took first of all, she took a swing from a giant, and then she walked up and like got crushed by him, and then stabbed him in the eye. I think that was
insane.
It was insane, but I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it at all. I thought
Jorah was gonna die, but I didn't expect him to die in that way.
No, I knew he would die protecting Dany.
I figured he would die protecting Dany.
Yeah.
And I feel like,
but like the
that
episode
was
showed
just
them in the front lines. All of a sudden they're in the.
But that's what I'm saying about the whole skilled fighter thing.
Yeah.
All of the people that survived were just more skilled fighters. And I guess, there is a lot of luck on their side that they didn't get, devoured.
I didn't expect the Red Woman to come back and die in the same episode.
When she said that she was going to be dead before the dawn, I wasn't expecting that, like, her to, like,
take off
her charm.
Her whole mission was to beat the Night King anyway, so now that it's done, she can die. Like, she can be in peace.
How was that her mission?
Wasn't that her mission?
For the Lord of Light. The Lord of Light, I guess, kind of gave her that mission.
Yeah.
And that's why she showed up.
Yeah.
That's why she didn't
That's
what
I was thinking.
When she said that she was gonna die, I thought she was gonna like sacrifice herself or something, or like make like a giant fire bomb or some shit and blow herself up. That's what I was expecting with her. Like when she was in the room where the Hound and Arya showed up, I thought she gave Arya that like pep talk, and I thought she was gonna like run into the walkers and blow up.
Something. I mean, I like the way she died. I appreciated her coming to help the living. That made her redeemable.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just didn't expect it.
Yeah, I didn't expect
that's true.
No.
Like the whole when I went into this episode, the last thing I was expecting was her to show up.
I was expecting her to show up, but definitely based on my theory from last episode, like I was wrong. But it was still cool.
Oh, you know who died? Who I didn't expect to die?
Who?
The Night King.
Same.
I knew he was gonna die. I was the only one on Team Winterfell, so I guessed it right.
Look, we're all on Team Winterfell. We just didn't think Winterfell was gonna win this quickly.
I was right. I'm Nostradamus.
It's like cheering for the Heat this season.
Was obviously wrong.
Well, I mean, you were half right. You said Arya was gonna be the one.
Yeah, I said Arya, and then all of you bitches shit on me for Arya.
No, you said Arya. You said Arya was gonna slay the dragon with her spear.
I think you're just talking.
I said the dragon and the Night King.
Right at the same time.
You said the dragon
and the dragon.
But it wasn't even with her spear. It was with the dagger Bran gave her.
Yeah.
Okay, but she did it, bitch.
You said she was gonna throw her spear.
She did something.
And shoot the dragon out of the sky.
You know what would have been funnier if they killed the Night King with a spear, just like he killed the dragon.
Yo, Theon should have spirit bombed. He should have had like C4 planted on his chest.
Bran should have killed the Night King with a spear and then warged in the Night King.
That would have been cool. Like that would have made Bran more like redeemable. I
actually wanted that to happen.
Bran should have warged into his legs and got up.
Bran should have set his wheels on fire and just charged into the crowd.
I don't think that's how it works.
Yo, how much of a plot twist would it be? Like Bran takes off his jacket and he's like buff, and he's like, let's fight, and then he like sword fights the Night King at the end, and then
Brand's can stand.
John walks in and he sees Brand fighting the Night King, and he's like, what the hell?
What's happening here?
He can walk this whole time.
You can walk this whole time. We made this stupid thing for you.
The things we do for love.
He faked it the whole time ever since season 1. He's just lazy.
He's just lazy.
He liked it when Hodor carried him.
Oh.
I was kind of like a mind battle, kind of like I expected like the Night King to like outwarg Bran, like or they would try to like take control of each other. But you know he's a dramatic bitch. He just wanted to stab him. So
yeah,
I'm still happy with the ending.
Overall, I'm satisfied. I know some of you aren't.
Yeah,
That's you guys.
Okay, Chris, come at us, dude. At us.
I am. Come at me, bro.
God.
I think that's the point of this entire thing.
No, it's okay. We can all have different opinions. Like
that's the point.
Yeah, but
that's why we're talking about it.
Your opinion sucks.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, it's been a good podcast.
How long has it been?
50.
Like 50
51.
minutes.
Oh,
51 minutes.
51.
All right, let's make it to an hour.
All right, cereal soup now.
So it's cereal or soup, ladies and gentlemen. We are back to this debate.
Oh my god.
Cereal is definitely on the spectrum.
Cereal is a
That was the conclusion. We have to say, okay, does temperature make the cereal a soup, or is it making a soup? Like the fact that it's cold is soup.
Well,
cold?
have you ever tried the microwave cereal?
Yeah, dude.
And I know people hot. I know that hot cereal exists. I'm just saying.
Bring in the description of what makes a soup a soup.
Oh, you want me to look up soup on Wikipedia?
Yes.
Hold on.
Because if I have cold soup, it's garbage. Like that's not.
They have gazpacho. Gazpacho's like a cold tomato soup.
I told you.
But
The
that's called
Russians,
gazpacho.
the Russians drink borscht, which is cold soup.
Gazpacho cereal.
Gazpacho's from chowder.
No. Well, yes, but no.
Is that
All right, Wikipedia defines soup. Soup is a primarily liquid food, generally served warm or hot, but may be cool or cold, that is made by combining ingredients of meat or vegetables with stock or water. Hot soups are additionally characterized by boiling solid ingredients in a pot until the flavors are extracted, forming a broth.
Okay, now we know somebody needs to look up the definition of cereal.
Okay.
Alright, you on that, Chris?
Yeah, I'm on it. A cereal is any grass cultivated for the edible components of its grain, composed of endosperm, germ, and bran. The term may also refer to the resulting grain itself. Cereal grain crops are grown in greater quantities and provide more food energy worldwide than any other type of crop, and are therefore staple crops. Edible grains from other plant families such as
crop.
What the hell is this? What I just want to know what cereal is.
That's what cereal is.
All right, let's go to the ancient. Let's go to the ancient history of cereal.
Oh,
so,
no.
It's okay.
Yo, there's hieroglyphics of people eating. Hieroglyphics of cereal, guys.
Right,
I think the Earth was created from like a big bang, but it was a cereal bowl instead of a rock.
I think it was just a bunch of Frosted Flakes, honestly.
God created cereal.
Tony the Tiger just snapped his finger.
Tony the Tiger. They're
During
great.
the winter, it's a cereal, but during summer, it's a soup.
Wait, that's ice cream.
Is melted ice cream a soup?
Technically, it's a sweet soup.
Is melted ice cream even ice cream?
I think what makes cereal...
It's soupy.
I think what makes cereal cereal is the cereal inside the milk. Like the grains.
Flakes.
I mean, yeah, cereal can be cereal without milk.
What if you're lactose?
Well, lactose,
It's still cereal.
Milk.
What about cereal and orange juice?
That's alright, well, that's
Are you retarded?
It's just nasty.
That's no.
What about cereal and hot water?
Oh.
Why?
That's oatmeal.
I know
Not
people
today,
that do that,
Satan.
and that's weird.
You know people that do that. Why?
Because they're insane.
All right.
Maybe they don't have money.
So Marco's friends with sociopaths. Okay.
Alright. Sorry, Marco.
Yeah, don't say sorry to me. Say sorry to my
So,
psychopath.
in conclusion, cereal is not a soup?
No.
People are gonna be really confused because this episode is probably titled something Game of Thrones related.
No, I'm gonna put is Game of Thrones a soup?
It's gay.
Title. Podcast.
Was episode 3 of Game of Thrones actually soup?
Actually soup? Find out.
Click here to find out.
Is that gonna be our Monka S? It's soup.
Monka S.
It's a soup, bro. It's a soup.
It's a soup.
That's so soup, dog.
Oh. All right, super cereal. That's it. We got it, guys.
All right.
We ended.
I don't know which is which, but
I mean, we ended
All right.
world problems.
So that was the
So the
official
outro?
first podcast.
so I guess this is the official ending of our podcast.
Podcast.
All right.
In a moment, Marco's gonna
All right,
list you our
Marco can
social
take it
medias.
away with the social medias.
Thanks for listening.
Okay,
Hang on a second.
I'm
Marco?
gonna clap.
Yes. Okay, wait. Okay, do the clap again whenever.
Okay, wait. So after the social media, after Marco finishes the social media, we all say bye, and then that's it. That's the end of the podcast.
Okay, after I say my YouTube. Okay, after I say the YouTube, everyone say bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Wait.
No. Wait, please. The
Wait, Marco,
longer we make
Marco,
this, more
what do you say again?
After I say YouTube, like after
Bye.
I say our YouTube channel.
All right, somebody clap.
Okay, ready? Oh, who clapped?
Oh, sorry, I was default dancing.
Who did that? Oh, God. Taking over the podcast. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Patreon, Snapchat, Twitter. Join our Discord server.
No, you
Don't forget
you
to
cut
hit the
out.
subscribe
You cut
button.
out,
Marco,
Marco.
I cut out. Really? Dang it.
That was so
right.
good too.
Take 2.
Yo, Discord was like, no,
clapped.
thank you.
Somebody clapped in the middle of it.
That wasn't me, I promise.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Did somebody fall? Did somebody fall?
That shit had an echo, dude. Oh, that was funny.
Marco, come on, you got this, man.
I know. I'm sorry.
All right, Marco. Okay.
This is definitely going in the video. I don't care.
Oh no, I have to edit so much.
You could do boobies. Okay.
At the end of the
Boobies?
podcast.
Just say social medias in the
Boobies.
link. That's it. Link in the description. That's it.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Marco, say it.
Clap.
Where are you? Are you clapping in your living room? What's going on?
Oh my god.
You saw that clap though. That clap is on another universe.
It sounded like she threw like a binder on the floor or something. It didn't sound like a clap.
It sounded like a piece of cheese.
Forget it. Somebody else clap it.
Right.
Damn.
Okay.
All right,
No,
everyone shut
Issa,
up, everyone shut up.
you keep clapping though. You keep.
You know what? No one clap. Everyone just be quiet. Thanks, guys, for listening. Oh my god.
Come on.
Mike's like, I want to sleep, dude.
Dude, I want to watch the fucking episode.
Oh my god.
All right, Marco, go.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Patreon, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and to join our Discord server. And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.